Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I'm Judy Jones, 335 North 8 Mile Road, Casper, Wyoming. I'm so glad to be here tonight to speak to you directly. My history with the Commission and the BOCC is that of an active citizen participation, and it is widely practiced. This is not a new concept. It can, however, sometimes present a problem for a government body or appointed members of a commission, but I don't believe this is the case here with this commission. My husband and I own a respectable trucking company operating within a heavily regulated industry. We are law-abiding citizens, taxpayers, and you can ask us any questions you would like here tonight, and we'll try to answer them for you. The first thing I would like to address is that I myself have sat in enough meetings of both county commissioners and planners to know that neighbors' opinions matter very little when it comes to decisions made by either this commission or the BOCC. I have seen an entire neighborhood speak against a new subdivision or a zone change, and it's passed both this commission and the BOCC's commission. I've seen neighbors speak against collector car permits, zone splits, land splits, etc. And both board commissioners have passed it. So it would seem while they get to voice their concern and their opinions, they really have little impact on the final decision of other commissions, and frequently cannot persuade a commission or board to act. There's at least, well tonight, 5 or 6 of the neighbors out by our Natrona property that wrote letters opposing our application for an auto reduction yard permit. I believe those in opposition, as well as this commission, are curious as to the intention and reasoning of why we are applying for an auto reduction recycling center and not a collector car permit. I'll let my husband try to clarify that subject for you, and I'll move on to something else, something I thought was important. I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus or to get other people that live out in Natrona into trouble. But I would like to show you some photographs of other properties coming from Natrona's county line all the way to all the way to Casper. If I could have those, Harry. No, each one's got it. You're good. If you'd like, we could kind of go through them together. The first one is at the very beginning of Natrona County when you're coming east into Casper. It's Floyd, and it's Waltman's store, and he's got cars out there, and he's doing his thing. And that's just pretty much par for the course of this highway. You guys can look at those if you want. And then the second one is Powder River itself. They have quite a bit going on over that way too. And then the third set is Daniel Miller, and he's got stuff on his property as well. The point I'm trying to make with some of this is that we're not out of step with the character of what's going on out that way. I mean, every property you drive by has something going on, whether it's cars or van trailers or whatever. There's something going on with it. So to me, I'm right in compliance with what's going on. And of course, the property's been used this way since the 1930s. The only difference is they no longer have the car repair on the property that once was there. I'll let you guys view those for a little bit, and then we'll go on. Number 5, you have the Crow property that has quite a few cars. And if you'll notice, in most of all of these, there's no fencing. In fact, some of them are even using van trailers to hide their stuff behind the van trailers. We're willing to put up a fence. That's not an issue. And that goes from all the way from the county line and right into town. moving on. Second, I'd like to address the guidelines that the county uses in its CUP process for permits. I believe we have met all 5 of the criteria used by the Commission Board and Planning and Zoning to accept and pass the CUP for auto reduction yard. We are the owners on record. Granting this conditional use permit will not overburden any county services. We don't have any need for anything else. We're pretty much self-contained, and we have been. 3, granting this conditional use permit will not cause any more traffic, parking, population density, or environmental problems. Twice the county has been out to our property, once back in 2010 with Linda McLarnon, and even when she was on the property, she made no note of any EPA issues or oil or gas or any of that, and that was long before any of this really started. Number 4, granting this conditional use permit will not impair the use of adjoining neighbors or change the character of the neighborhood. Well, I think I've addressed the character of the neighborhood. Everybody's got stuff. As far as adjoining neighbors, we have our own road that goes into our property. There's no other roads that lead on our property or across it. There's no easement. The only entrance is at the beginning of the property, and there's no other entrances. So if you can't get over my chain gate, there's no reason to come in. Number 5, granting this conditional use permit will not be detrimental to affect public health and safety and welfare. Like I said, we've had them out there twice. In fact, their last visit in July, this 2013, we had the county code enforcement out there. Mr. Knight was there, Trish Chavez, Gene Wallace, Wayne Lang, and no one mentioned anything about oil problems or, fuel or anything like that. The only thing I keep on the property is I keep a 1,000-gallon tank. And that's for my fire suppression. It's filled up from the water that I do have, because I do have water, and it's on a well. And most of the trucks that I use do have fire extinguishers on board. So if I have any problems with it, I can deal with it. All right, let's go. As you know, I'll go with number 4 here. The use of people's property is not impaired, as the only close neighbor with the home has told me personally she has no issues. She would have come and speak tonight, but she was tied up with the BLM. The character of the neighbor is ranching, mining, and agriculture. As I said, all the properties that come in from Natrona all the way in, we all look pretty much the same. As Mr. Gutierrez said, in the 2000 zoning resolution, RAM does allow auto record business, auto service station, and meat processing, mining, and agitation, to name a few that do not even require a permit. We are simply trying to comply with the county's own 2000 resolution that we came closest to and apply for the best fitting conditional use for our actual use of property, which is auto reduction yard, since we are storage. We are in the process of cleaning up old buildings and debris left from previous owners of more than 50 years ago, and the auto reduction yard permit allows us a wide array of options to dispose of vehicles and debris. I have used 5 36-yard dumpsters just this last year alone in my cleanup of this property. The costs are extensive for these dumpsters, and I do plan to continue to do my cleanup. We need a way to dispose of these items in an economic and more efficient manner. Burn permits we have gotten for the last 3.5 years, and again, that's what I use my 1,000-gallon tank for. We will be removing all the cars and items located down under the hill out of the floodways and dispose of, and we already have disposed of many of the dirty cars and the less valuable cars that we have. We will be putting up a fence to shield the vehicles from the public right-of-ways. As you know, fencing isn't 100%, but we'll do our best to make it look good for everyone. And with that, I'll take any questions and let the next guys go.
Jim, I'm not sure, but that
Yeah, it's about this wide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah.
As a crow flies, it's about 3 miles to the Golden Isles fishing area.
Yeah.
And I know there's a gate off Casper Creek so that they can control that level of Golden Isle from time to time, or even drain it if necessary. My only concern is just that south end. I guess I'd like to see maybe a trench and a little berm along that south, just to make
To
sure.
be on the property, to be honest with you,
Pardon?
to be on that property in that area, it sits about 45 feet below where we'll have our cars. And that ditch down in there, that's where I had a burn permit for the last 3 years. And the stuff that's down in there, that's what came with the property when we bought it. So we're gonna take all that out. And everything's coming up. So it'll be like it's like a 35-foot drop off. I mean, drop off.
It's my only concern is any liquids that might be
Yeah, well,
associated with reduction. I certainly wouldn't want them going down.
oh, no. I've made provisions for all of that as far as that, but if the berm is what you want, that would be fine, but I'm telling you, the cars don't even get near the edge anymore. It's dropped off.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, Ms. Jones. A couple questions for you. The first, what is an auto reduction and recycling? What
Well,
what are these cars used for?
Well, according to okay, let's see. The definition that fits best for this property is in the 2000 resolution, and it says, storage of inoperable vehicles. And that's the language that's used. I'm referring to also where Commissioner Hendry once told me in a public meeting that an auto reduction recycling permit does not have to have any recycling or crushing or sales to be an approved permit. And then I believe I heard it from Mr. Knight too at, I think it was an 8-11 meeting with the car people. He said you don't have to actually do any crushing, which we haven't, don't let you know that. But that's the permit the county has wanted me to get for the last 4 years. And since Collector Carr came along in what, 2011? They wanted me to do that before that. So they wanted me to apply for auto reduction. Hendry wanted it, Winger wanted it, Keating wanted it. That's kind of the reason I went with it. It fits me better.
Is it a commercial operation or
No,
you just have the cars?
just have the cars.
Okay. Another question. How'd you come up with 18 acres? Is the 18 acres, is that what the area of those cars is supposed to be?
I believe my lawyer and my husband can probably do better with the technicals on this. Can we let those guys do this?
Sure.
Because I was addressing what I do. I do the cleanup and the moving and, you know, that kind of thing. But I think those guys can handle that better for me. Harry, would you like to, or Dana? Either one of you.